The alien diplomats from the Zephyrian Council had traveled across 3 star systems to meet the humans on their new colony world of Kepler Prime. The tall, blue-skinned beings with their graceful movements and large dark eyes had heard whispers throughout the galaxy about these strange bipedal creatures who called themselves humans. Commander Lisa Barnes stood at the landing pad, watching the sleek silver vessel touch down with practiced ease. She had been chosen to lead the first contact mission, not just for her military experience but for her calm demeanor under pressure. The colony had been established only 2 years ago, and this meeting could determine whether humanity would be welcomed into the galactic community or treated as a threat. The Zephyrian delegation emerged from their ship led by Ambassador Thyra, whose crystalline voice carried an undertone of nervousness. She had studied human records extensively, but nothing had prepared her for meeting them in person. These beings had conquered a world that even the mighty Krillian Empire avoided, a planet whose very mention made seasoned space traders shudder. Kepler Prime was home to the Razorclaw Stalkers, massive predatory beasts that stood 8 feet tall, with armored hide and claws that could slice through starship hull plating. The creatures were lightning fast and hunted in coordinated packs that could take down prey twice their size. Even the fearsome draconian warriors who conquered worlds for sport had declared Kepler Prime off limits after losing 3 entire battalions to these monsters. Yet here were the humans not just surviving, but thriving on this nightmare world. Lisa greeted the delegation with a warm smile, extending her hand in the human gesture of friendship. Thyra hesitated, remembering the briefings about human physical contact, but slowly reached out with her own slender fingers. The touch was surprisingly gentle, nothing like the crushing grip she had expected from these apex predators. The tour began with the colony perimeter, where massive energy barriers hummed with protective force. Thyra noticed human guards casually patrolling outside the barriers, completely exposed to the deadly wildlife. When she mentioned this concern, Lisa laughed, a sound that made the Zephyrians step back nervously. "Those barriers are not to keep the Razorclaws out," Lisa explained. "They are to keep our livestock in." The native predators learned pretty quickly to avoid human territory. Delegation exchanged worried glances. Thyra had assumed the humans cowered behind their defenses like every other species that had attempted colonization here. Instead, they seemed to treat the most dangerous predators in known space as minor inconveniences. Their next stop was the agricultural sector, where vast fields of earth crops grew under alien suns. Thyra marveled at the efficiency, but noticed something troubling. Large sections of the fields showed signs of massive disturbance, with deep claw marks. Scoring the Earth Razorclaw attack, Lisa confirmed casually. "We lost about 30% of the western quadrant last month. Pack of 12 adults thought they could make a meal of our harvest crews." The Zephyrians gasped in horror. A pack of 12 Razorclaws could level a small city. How had the humans survived such an assault? Lisa continued walking, seemingly unbothered by their shock. The pack leader was a magnificent specimen, nearly 9 feet tall, with scars from dozens of battles. "We tracked them for 3 days through the canyon systems. The hunt was absolutely exhilarating." Hunt. Thyra could barely form the word. These humans had hunted the hunters. The real shock came that evening during the diplomatic dinner Lisa had promised to showcase human cuisine as a gesture of cultural exchange. The delegation sat nervously around a long table adorned with unfamiliar decorations, while human colonists bustled about preparing the meal. Amy Rodriguez, the colony chef, emerged from the kitchen, carrying platters of perfectly prepared food. The aroma was intoxicating, rich and complex with spices that made Zephyrian mouths water. Despite their apprehension, Amy beamed with pride as she set down the main course. Fresh Razorclaw steaks, she announced, cheerfully marinated in Terran herbs and grilled to perfection. The meat came from that pack leader Commander Barnes mentioned. Took down the whole group ourselves and decided to make the best of it. The silence that followed was deafening. Thyra stared at the perfectly cooked meat that had once belonged to the most feared predator in 3 sectors. Her fellow diplomats had gone completely still, their large eyes fixed on the humans who were casually cutting into their meals with obvious enjoyment. "But this is impossible," Thyra whispered. "Razorclaws are apex predators. No species in the galaxy can match their speed and ferocity." How do you not only survive their attacks but hunt them for food? Lisa swallowed a bite and smiled. The secret is not trying to match their speed or strength. We use our brains to outsmart them. Set traps, coordinate our attacks, use teamwork. They might be perfect killing machines, but they are still just animals. She gestured to her fellow colonists, who nodded. In agreement, we study their behavior, learn their weaknesses, exploit their instincts. A razor claw might be faster and stronger than any individual human, but we hunt in packs too, and our packs use tools and tactics. Jennifer Walsh, the colony biologist, leaned forward with enthusiasm. We have been studying them for months now. They are incredible creatures, perfectly adapted for hunting large prey, but they have never encountered a species like us before, one that can think several steps ahead and adapt tactics in real time. The Zephyrians watched in amazement as the humans continued their meal-sharing stories of their various encounters with the local predators. They spoke of close calls and narrow escapes, but also of successful hunts and the thrill of matching wits against such formidable opponents. Thyra realized something profound was happening. The humans were not just surviving on this death world, they were thriving by embracing it. They had turned the planet's most dangerous predators, from threats into resources, from enemies into dinner. After the meal, Lisa led the delegation to the colony observation deck, where they could see the vast wilderness stretching to the horizon. In the distance, bioluminescent creatures moved through the trees while the calls of various predators echoed across the landscape. Most species see Kepler Prime as a hell world, Lisa said quietly, but we see opportunity. Every challenge this planet throws at us makes us stronger, more adaptable. The razor claws taught us to be better hunters. The acid spiders improved our medical research. The storm wraiths helped us develop better weather prediction systems. She turned to face the stunned diplomats. This world has everything we need to build something amazing. We just had to be willing to take it. Thyra looked out at the alien wilderness with new understanding. These humans had not conquered Kepler Prime through superior firepower or advanced technology. They had adapted to it, becoming part of its ecosystem, while reshaping it to serve their needs. They were predators in the truest sense, not because they were the strongest or fastest, but because they were the most intelligent and adaptable. The revelation would reshape galactic politics overnight. The Zephyrian Council would return home with reports of a species that could transform the most dangerous worlds into thriving colonies. Humanity would not just be welcomed into the galactic community, they would be courted as the ultimate survivalists and planetary development specialists. As the alien delegation prepared to depart the next morning, Thyra found herself both terrified and fascinated by these remarkable beings. They had turned a nightmare into opportunity, danger into sustenance. The galaxy would never be the same. Lisa waved goodbye as the Zephyrian ship lifted into the morning sky. Already her mind was turning to the next challenge. The southern continent remained largely unexplored, and reports suggested even more dangerous. Predators lurked in its depths. She smiled at the thought. After all, humans had always been apex predators. They had simply found their way home.